Okay, welcome guys.
Welcome, Kees.
Yes.
Where have you been, man?
Sorry for my absence sorry for that.
Well, I actually want to start off with something before I want to give you something. I brought you something.
Okay.
I also gave this to Kenny for his departure, but I want to give you this to actually strengthen the relationship we had before summer started.
Yeah.
Now autumn is starting, so we're gonna get into a new season.
Okay.
But our connection, you can say, was a little bit diminished by summer because you had your plans. You went to US, etc. Yeah. I went to Sri Lanka.
I just stayed here.
Demian stayed here with his dogs. But I think this is a symbol for starting our new season. Starting our new connection. And this is also something you already know about, which gives me a lot of good vibes. And I always have good vibes with you as well. So I just want to give this to you. And I would love if you actually use this more. So here you go. Okay. Because this resembles what I like about you.
Okay. Kees, I don't know how. Oh yeah, you're on screen there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay, this is what's going on here, gents? T-shirt.
Okay.
Here's your camera, Kees. This one.
Oh, we have it. Oh, this is so funny. I think it's way too big for me, but
it is.
Oh, dude, it's such a legend.
I mean, this is you.
Yeah.
Huh? And who's the
this is you in the 80s.
That's Kenny, the guy on the right with the synthesizer, right? So.
Oh, this is fucking funny.
I also got one, so maybe we can do a podcast where we both wear this. And these guys, they are in Amsterdam in a week in Paradiso.
Next week.
Yeah. So I tried to get some tickets, but they were all gone. But maybe we can try to get in, and maybe you have some connections in Amsterdam.
Let me look into that because it would be really fun to.
Maybe you can call your vitamin dealer to see if he can get some tickets as well.
For example,
excessive vitamin use. Well, maybe. Thanks, Florian. Appreciate the gift. Appreciate it.
And I have something else.
Okay.
But this is for the whole pot.
What is it?
Hey, the book we discussed, Stellar.
The Stellar Economy.
Stellar Economy.
Yeah.
We also discussed it last week with Roel.
Did you finish reading it completely?
Demian and I were talking about getting a reading list.
Yeah.
And having like a base kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think we should add this to our base knowledge. Next to all our knowledge we have about the US economy, I think we should all read this. We have been discussing this, but I've been rereading it, and it really is, I think, also the base for sustainable abundance from the new mission of
it's
of
written
Tesla.
by Tony Seba.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And who is the other author?
James Arbib.
Okay.
James Arbib and Tony Seba, they started a new company called Rethinks. And they are a consultancy club for governments.
These kind of questions. Yeah. Amazing. Thanks, man.
And Tony has always been quite right in his vision about electric vehicles, about battery storage.
Yeah, I hear you
and
mentioning
also about
Tony Seba for years already.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Tony Seba. He's actually a fellow countryman. He's also from Venezuela.
Cool.
I have shaken his hands in Amsterdam once, and I'm a big fan. And he's one of our gurus, always been for Mr. Green. And this book is, again, it's like ahead of its time, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I would love to read it with you guys.
Yeah.
To actually discuss some points which are being discussed there.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can.
Yeah, there are just a couple of these transformative things. So one of the transformative decisions that I made in Tesla to go all in let's say 2018, 2019 was definitely based on all the work Tony Seba had done. Back in the days, there were some YouTube presentations about the declining cost of battery, and when that inflection point was when electric cars will be cheaper than ICE cars.
Yeah.
And I think we're right now on
or at least at a comparable rate. Yeah.
And I think we're now already at that point, although comparable, although already getting cheaper. So then it's literally on a much better car in every metric there is. So, and that was always the goal already. And Tony Seba just could compare those trends very well. And I think also when you look back at the predictions and calculations that he has been making, is almost as precise on the year. So maybe that's a cool deep dive as well, to take some Tony Seba presentations that inspired you in
back in the day,
in the days, and see how it played out in 5 years' time.
Thanks for taking it with you.
Yeah, I think you can keep it as well. So your second gift of today.
Oh, wow.
But
I feel so loved.
on the one condition that you also read it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I will also give one to you.
Okay.
And then we can read it with the three of us.
Yeah, let's just order books all in multitude. So we always have like 5 books. I used to do that.
And I think I already got our second book.
Okay.
It's in the making at this moment. I'm, how do you call it? The first one of being able to kind of revisit it and how do you call that? Like not a ghost writer, but
as in a peer review that you
peer review.
got
So it's written by all our
first proofreading.
So it's written by Randy Kirk, but also together with Søren Bescher, with Brian White, Brian Wang.
No way.
With Dr. Know-It-All.
Yep. They're writing a book together.
This guy from Rebellionaire, Bradford Ferguson.
Cool.
So they're writing a book all about AI, robotics, and the energy future. Exactly what is being said in this book.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I think that's going to a second book that we're going to read.
Yeah. And do you have any ideas about when it gets released?
I think in a month or 2 months.
Cool. Great job, Rebellionaires.
Yes.
Third one that I want to add is Exponential Organizations. That's a book that I read 10 years ago, but want to reread. And they also very much explained how Tesla was an exponential organization back then. Yep. And also those kind of predictions all came true. So, yeah.
It's also written by a Dutch guy, huh?
No,
Co-written.
I don't think so. No, not sure about that. But anyway, it was a great transformative book as well.
So the podcast is now slowly being transformed into a book reading club as well. That's what you've always wanted. Like in the 5-6 years that I know you now, is like you've always wanted to start like a book reading, book sharing club in Mr. Green.
Because I'm actually, I like reading, but I'm terrible at being consistent in reading. Yeah. Understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with social media right now, it's like it's killing my concentration.
And it's nice to like talk about it and learn from each other. So, like you can read it, but somebody else who reads it might have a slightly different interpretation or something. Yeah. So it's always valuable.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to have like a base layer of knowledge.
Yeah,
and to discuss that.
How I look at it, because we run Tesla to Mars as a podcast, but if you then have sort of base layer of knowledge with Tony Seba's work, with stuff like Exponential Organizations, but maybe also like Benjamin Franklin, who is of big influence in sort of how Elon looks at countries and so.
The OG Ben Franklin.
Yeah. Okay. Ben Franklin, also written by Walter Isaacson. It has always been very influential for Elon's thinking, for example. So, and I still see Elon as sort of by far the most smart and influential person on the planet. So I would like to learn, like Hitchhikers to the Galaxy is something that Elon also explains. I have that book here, but has not been started.
But does it
yet.
then also mean, because like I have been wanting for 2 years already, like to start actively rereading philosophers' original works. And I think a lot of the thinking of Elon is also inspired by a lot of like fairly modern philosophers, but also in the like classical, romantic, and Enlightenment age. He takes a lot of reading from that as well.
And he has also read a lot of sci-fi.
Exactly.
And one of the It's not one book, but it's like 10 books. It's a series. It's called the Culture series by
Ian Banks. Yeah, we also discussed that one. Yeah,
yeah. I bought a physical book again.
Yeah.
I normally buy them on Kindle, ebooks, but now I'm trying to buy them physical to get me into the reading again. But I lost it on the third day on my vacation. So
classic Florian.
Yeah. Now I understand why I actually I didn't buy them physically anymore.
Yeah.
But
and I liked physical books because you can mark them a little bit, and I like it to have it on a physical piece of paper than instead on a screen.
Yep.
Oh, anyway, I think that sort of building that body of knowledge is like super helpful for
100%.
For
also on a personal
sort
level.
of your mental models and way of thinking, right? So, for example, like also Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they have their own body of knowledge that they use to spar and to try to understand companies better.
Which they're pretty good at.
They do it on basis of all these mental models they have.
Yeah, mental models, and those mental models are all coming out of different books that they have been reading.
Yeah, it's actually coming from behavioral science as well.
Yeah.
It's also from this book Anti-Fragility, where
many
you have the subconscious and subconscious mind.
Anti-fragility?
Yeah.
As in fragile, breekbaar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a famous book by, what's his name again? Well, that's a book which is a mental model. Actually.
Nicholas Taleb.
Yep.
Yeah, and there are many of those models, like for example,
First Principles is a model.
First Principles is a model, like marginal safety is a mental model that you can run. And Charlie Munger is famous of being able to listen to an idea of somebody, or listen to some information that he gets, and then at the same time sort of juggling around 30 different mental models that he uses to just improve his thinking.
Okay.
And this is also what Elon does. So Elon has many of those type of mental models, and also calculation. He's super fast in it. So one time was like one of the most fun Elon moments of the last years was when he was at Joe Rogan. He brought his Cybertruck to the studio of Joe Rogan.
With the bow and arrow.
He asked, like, it can resist a bullet. So there was something. And then Joe was like, can it also resist a bow and arrow? And then you saw Elon, like a split second. Yes, it can. So he was like calculating like mass, speed, that, like just in a split second. But I'm quite sure
density materials.
Angle or whatever. So I was quite sure, let's say 99.9% sure, that Elon was doing that sort of split second calculation of that.
But you notice that in his interviews as well. Like when people ask him a question, sometimes he's quite slow to answer, and I think that's a really valuable skill to have, because you see that he's actively consuming everything that is being asked, and then giving a thoughtful answer.
Yeah, but then he's thinking about it, but he's thinking about it through a sort of a whole bunch of models that he's then, that he can filter his answer towards to. And Charlie's famous for that, and Warren, and many of these great thinkers are famous for using those mental models. But Elon, of course, has a couple of mental models that he's...
I don't know about Elon, but I think Charlie and Warren, they were reading for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And,
And Elon spent his entire childhood reading.
and getting anxiety from the stuff that he reads.
Don't read the German philosophers when you're
11 years old.
11-year-old kid.
Yeah, like
you get quite depressed about it.
Who are this? Like Nietzsche and Kierkegaard, I think.
Oh, I think he read them all already on that age.
Yeah, at that age, he had this existential crisis at that age.
But about Warren Buffett, I think I see it as a really good connection to a first topic, because that's one of the things that we've seen last week about electric vehicles, not Tesla this time, but Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway completely selling off all its position in BYD.
Yep.
What are your first thoughts, Demian?
Well, first thoughts is you never know what all the decision parameters are for that. So it can be just wanting more cash or wanting a different position. But what is quite sure, and I don't have much data on BYD, but what I for certain know is the chart that LOJ posts a lot with all these electric vehicle makers that are loss-making.
Yeah.
And BYD is a bit more complex to analyze because they have a wide product line. Or from origins, BYD is a battery company, but they also have hybrid cars and they have vehicles in sort of lower price bucket. But if you look, for example, at the launch of BYD here in Europe, I think it's a massive flop because because there's so much resources poured into it.
You barely see them driving around, and
you see a bunch driving around, but they don't hit. They don't even come close to the numbers that Tesla is making. Obviously, I don't know too much about the Chinese market there, but one thing is for certain is that all the OEMs, all the other electric vehicle makers are loss-making.
Yeah,
and what BYD, what is they. If you look at the numbers of BYD, you see that they're also not so profitable on certain lines and need to raise cash again in a couple of months. So LOJ posted about that this week.
They are, and I think, I mean, I don't know about the reasons why Warren Buffett actually sold it, but normally Warren Buffett is in. And he holds it, and he keeps it forever.
Similar to Apple and Coca-Cola, for instance.
Because normally the gains are at the end. That's the exponential curve when you're getting into a. So it's actually quite telling that he's out.
Yeah,
and this is also what Alojo explains: is that it is because the cash flows are dramatically, and he already saw that happening like 6 months ago. We actually discussed that, I think, 10 episodes ago as well.
Yeah.
And the cash flows were pretty okay because they had a trick. So they paid their suppliers for at least, it took them 120, 125 days. But the industrial standard is like 60, 70 days.
Yeah.
So times a car which has a high price, it's actually in the billions. So they had to raise... last quarter, they had to raise like 5 billion, and the quarter before also 5 billion. So that's 10 billion totally in 6 months.
Yeah.
So there is something going on with the cash flow, and nobody knows exactly. But this is happening with Build Your Dream, but it's also happening with other Chinese companies.
Yeah.
And wasn't it also the case that they were being quite heavily funded by Chinese state media?
But I don't know the details about that. But this was one very explicit, crazy
but
part of their
it's not a
financials.
good sign because we have been told in the media like the Chinese are coming and the Chinese cars are going to flood the market. So I see this as a very, very positive sign for Tesla because all the competition was thought to be coming from China, which is now the risk of that is getting increasingly lowered.
Well, I think it shows how competitive the automotive market is.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in China.
Yeah.
So to survive the automotive market, it's gruesome.
Yeah, that's what Elon said himself as well.
And I think Elon already saw that 3 to 5 years ago. And Elon never wanted to compete in the automotive market. No. It's just the first market to get his robot on wheels being produced and getting... So it's never been about getting market share in the car market.
But then again, he succeeded in doing it.
But I think we're still in 2-3 quarters, which will be gruesome, as he said, like the last quarterly earnings, because the majority of revenue and gross margins is still coming from the car industry. Yeah. So I definitely want to see what's going to happen with the Q3 numbers. I think deliveries are up, but we don't know about gross margins.
No.
But you don't have to be Nostradamus to predict that the electric vehicle market will be a bloodbath, especially when the capabilities of FSD and Tesla will be more and more obvious to many people, because then suddenly Tesla is already the most efficient electric car in the world when it comes to price. And we know all the other ones putting in more batteries, but then the car just not becomes cost efficient. Like Rivian, Volkswagen, they're all loss making on their electric
Polestar
vehicles.
is close to bankruptcy.
Ford, of course, losing billions and billions. And at one point, just shareholders of those companies are going to say, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to pull the plug, literally, or something else? Especially when those companies like Ford, Volkswagen, they're all famous for their dividend payouts. That is just not sustainable. So that is going to happen, and that will become more and more obvious in the next
and I think you already see it in the stock price of Tesla. I mean, the rise in the stock price is obviously because Elon bought 1 billion of shares. But also because people are waking up to the idea that it's not about cars. It's about sustainable abundance and about AI and about FSD.
But even in the realm of cars,
I think you did your road trip on the exactly right moment, because I've learned that Adam Jones, the famous Morgan Stanley analyst, he copied your road trip.
No way, Adam Jones,
So he traveled with his Tesla, an old hardware 3 Model 3, I believe, and he rode it on FSD, and he was completely blown away.
And
he wrote it down in a
memo,
an analyst memo,
in a report.
And he said this is going to be the game changer. I mean, and he's not the only one. Also, Bird is saying this, etc. And because of this hardware 3, he got this replies from everybody. You should now definitely start driving and experiencing FSD on a hardware 4 model.
Hardware 4, V13.
Exactly as you said,
Yeah.
So what did he do last week? He bought a new Model Y.
Well, kudos to Adam Jonas if you're watching.
No, but
he's definitely watching.
But the cool thing is that
also you've been an inspirator. That's what I was saying.
Frans van Holtzhausen also said in one of his interviews, sort of gave it away, that also the FSD take rate was doubled with Tesla. Because just the popularity of FSD taking off. And this is also the interesting thing with Tesla, because you can never sort of fully predict what's going on, so there are many analysts that are on the ball with their delivery numbers, so they're quite close to that, but profitability is going to become more and more difficult to predict. Now energy and FSD and all the robotaxis are sort of being rolled out. So there can be many surprises sort of each quarter going forward, I think, on the upside of profitability of Tesla. So this current breakout that we're seeing in the stock is, I think, the beginning of like a very successful curve. Tesla entering 2026, 2027, to 28. So think about how crazy to 28 can be, if you just extrapolate what Tesla is doing right now. It's just crazy.
So then we have epic, ridiculous. What will be like the next step after ridiculous?
Yeah, well,
bonkers?
let me tell you what the next step of ridiculous.
He already mentioned it, didn't he? Epic was 25, 26 was ridiculous, 27 was also something, but I don't know what he said.
I thought the ridiculous was the last step. But
that is going to be
epic, awesome, ridiculous.
Exactly.
The vision of the Tesla factory has always been to create the machine that builds the machine.
100,
so the Tesla factory has always been viewed internally as a product on itself. And we talked about it in previous episodes, that Tesla has been perfectioning their methods and building capabilities over the last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So that all started in Shanghai, that vision.
Still waiting for that unboxed method.
Yeah, unboxed method is now being rolled out. But I was also reading into rumors that Tesla Energy will have a much more aggressive ramp with probably 20 factories that will be built worldwide. in Cambodia, all different countries where the natural resources of those products are. And I expect something like that to happen. That blueprint, the machine that made the machine, is sort of finalized, and they say, okay, we're now entering the next phase where we go to roll out that, and that is going to
which ties in perfectly to the whole Mars thing.
Yeah, it's already crazy to witness that the build out of the factory and the production line of Cybercab is almost going to coincide with the release of FSD v14 and the global rollout of Robotaxi. It's all going to happen in the next 6 to 16, 20 months.
If they nail the timing,
but
then
it's unbelievable that all those things combined are actually going to be released together.
Yeah.
It's like crazy, isn't it? It's like, how can you time that?
Yeah, exactly. The timing. But like
how can you time like a Cybercab production going to 1 million?
The execution is flawless when it comes to Tesla. It's amazing. It's insane because he has the vision. He keeps on standing there and making stuff happen.
But it hasn't happened yet, so that's why people are still like kind of
reluctant hesitant, like to believe it.
And I think also there's still a lot of ignorance around this. I mean, even FSD. I mean, how many people know exactly how many FSD, how good FSD is? I mean.
Yeah, so I think 1% of the Tesla drivers, perhaps, or of all Tesla owners, even.
Yeah, so 1% of all Tesla owners is like 1% of 10 million, which is like
10,000,
100,000 people.
Yeah, 100,000.
No, that's.
I think that's a lot.
And how many cars are there worldwide? I think 1 billion. Yeah, so there will be like 0.1% is of all drivers are aware of actually how good FSD is.
1.4 billion.
1.4 billion.
Yeah.
So only 100,000 people of 1.4 are actually aware of this magnificent technology.
Today, I've seen a post from somebody working at a insurance company who was on LinkedIn. He wrote like, would it make sense for roads to have a separate lane for vehicles with ADAS, with advanced driver assist? Like, then it's like you're completely missing the point. Like, it's not like they need their own lane to just drive straight. I've experienced,
they need all this infrastructure.
No, I've experienced that shit. It's like you put that car anywhere and it works 99% of the time.
It's like having a robot lane for Optimus as well.
Oh, love it. Yeah, but it makes no sense. Makes no sense because it can navigate the world. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, but you're right. All those technologies are now on the verge of sort of expanding, and you have not added the semi truck to it. You have not added the machine that makes the machine to it. So all those things are now ready to scale, and that's also the timing of Master Plan Part 4. Because that is not something Elon had in mind over the last couple of weeks. That's something he was already clear about two years ago, right? But now is the moment to finally also put the vision of all the team towards that compelling future.
100%. And what I also didn't hear is like, where does the Boring Company fit into this picture?
Well, there was a very recent tweet from Elon about what's his vision about autonomous vehicles and
Boring,
and the Boring Company.
Yeah,
he said actually, if you want to have like mass transit being replaced by autonomous vehicles, you need the Boring Company.
Yeah,
because you need to get those autonomous vehicles into the city center, and the most efficient way is doing that is going underground instead of going into the city center by.
Yeah, tunnels are needed to address the fundamental choke points in cities.
The choke points, exactly.
You can't have 3D buildings and expect a 2D transport system to be effective. Multiple layers of tunnels enable transport to be 3D too. The fastest way to travel long distances, city center to city center, short of new physics, is cars/pods in vacuum tunnels.
Yeah, and we've seen this video already 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, and there's
this vision.
Part of this Boring tunnel in Vegas, and they've just recently completed a new stretch, I think. But when I was in Austin, people were telling me very close to Austin is where Elon has his house and where the Boring Company is headquartered. And like that whole strip from his house to Austin is owned by Elon. So there's already like thoughts of boring tunnels going to Austin as well.
Yeah, but that's going to be a massive transformation, and it ties back during the election times when Elon was very much involved with the current administration of the US
when they were still bros.
Yeah, and we saw that handshake, of course, during the Charlie Kirk memorial.
Which one?
Yeah, and what that's what I'm still sort of rooting for, that all the red tape, because the Boring Company cannot progress because the red tape is just too much. Apparently, boring tunnels under a city center is something that causes a lot of headaches with people.
Well, look at the metro expansion here in Amsterdam.
Exactly.
It took the municipality 15 years.
Yeah, so much time. So, and Elon is basically ready to just start drilling and boring.
Drill, baby, drill.
So, but then you need as they call it within Tesla, a man with a big hammer. So, a man with a big hammer is Elon in that company. So, can you imagine another company bringing out a Cybertruck? Do you know how much resistance you will get in pushing that idea forward? So then Elon, I think it's Andrej Karpathy that said that, Elon has a very big hammer. So he says okay, we're going to do that, bam, and we do that. But on a country level, that's almost impossible nowadays, unless there's a war or some hard reset that needs to happen. So I hope there with the administration of Trump, or in the future, or whatever type of operating system we're getting, like Florian's talking about AI, is that we can
cool that we were not saying government but operating system.
Allocate much per person with a hammer for infrastructure, for space programs, for really needling moving industries. That will be cool.
And it's a massive shift in how people perceive the world, because we hold democracy and the current way of operating systems as the greatest good that we've achieved as a civilization. So realizing this is gonna take an immense perception shift in civilians' minds, at least.
Yeah, so the idea of Ray Dalio in his book Principles is that they have a meritocracy of ideas. So they have and that will be amazing for just societies. Okay, with tunnels we can improve traffic jams with a lot of percentage, 300-400% more efficient. And that's what we want, right? So we want leaders to vote based on the best ideas that we then have. But now we vote for the guy who can speak the most eloquent and has the best haircut.
This this kind of thinking is already laid out by Plato back in the days, in Plato's Republic and the Politeia. So that's
Plato didn't have crypto.
Not yet, no. But I think those are also two books. I'll go ahead and purchase those books and do my first reading. And when I'm done, I'll give them to you.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I would also love to get an update on the Boring Company and their milestones, etc. Maybe a Boring Company day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can be sure that the people on Neuralink are also not sleeping, right? So there's so many things going on.
Yeah. There was somebody who wrote a tweet about the Boring Company and the technology of the Boring Company, that it was the latest version of PRUFROCK.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name is, but number 4 is as technology wise on the same level as the Falcon 9.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I have no idea why, but I would love to learn more about that.
Yeah, I know a few things.
Okay.
So not all the things, but one of the things that is important, that one of the things that take a lot of time, is that if you want to make a tunnel, you first need to dig a giant pit where that machine then can be placed in. Mm-hmm. And that's a sort of very time-consuming element. Mm-hmm. But now that machine can just start digging itself from top floor on. It just like a worm dives into the ground and it starts
doesn't
digging.
need the other machine anymore.
No, it doesn't need a machine. The second one, one of the big inventions there is that sort of the way to get out all the dirt is now being automated and being done by electric power engines. So that goes way faster than the sort of toxic fumes that then were there with gasoline powered machines.
So yeah, the time limitation, like that those machine can run and then people can take away the dirt.
Out because the fumes are then toxic. And so that was a big limitation. And the third limitation is that machine that is drilling.
The drilling head.
That's drilling also needs to place the layers of the tunnel.
Yeah. So
now basically Tesla digs, and then at the same time it places it places sort of the
So as it progresses, so the boring head PRUFROCK goes through, and then automatically it places the concrete layers. The concrete tiles.
Those are big tiles made of sort of in a hexagon shape that are sort of stick together and will be placed there. And I always liked the mission that a boring company had in the early days, and I think they still have that, was beat the snail, because apparently a boring machine was not slower than the snail. So that was sort of that whole mission of that company.
It's hilarious.
And they had the snail in their in a sort of bucket, terrarium that they held on that presentation. So the whole company mission was beat the snail. And
That's
I think
fucking hilarious.
They're almost at that point. So they now can drill like 1 mile a day or so, something like.
And do you know anything about affordability or cost reductions? I mean, the Falcon 9 was like...
It's a order or multiple orders of magnitude compared to traditional boring. So those costs are like so much more efficient than traditional boring, and also when it comes to speed and resources, it's a big breakthrough. And I think the Falcon 9 was basically the breakthrough for SpaceX, right?
Because of the reusability. Because of reusability, you could actually shoot as many rockets in the air, because it eventually, because of reusability, could become as cheap as normal airlines.
Yeah.
So how is this metric in the drilling world?
Yeah, let's do
question.
a sort of latest deep dive in there, and then also look, if that machine is, let's say, 10 times or 100 times faster and more cost efficient than current solution, and that is going to happen, then also manufacturing will become very interesting, because like the rocket manufacturing line that Elon built for SpaceX, he said, well, this is actually way less complicated than what we have at Tesla. It's not like with Tesla we need to produce millions.
Yeah, the scale difference.
With rockets we just need to build thousands. This is less complicated. But can you imagine when at a certain point there are just 50,000 PRUFROCKs?
What is it? Proof or proof?
Proof.
With the R.
Yeah. PRUF.
What does it mean?
PRUFROCK. Great question. I'll dive into this.
Yeah.
Continue.
So we continue. But so can you imagine that there are like 10,000 of these PRUFROCKs operational? That is going to be massive transformative for infrastructures, and that can happen like in a decade. This is a cool thing, Like now the technology is being perfected. Then we need countries that can reduce red tape. So it can be that those going to be total different countries. Can be Argentina, can be China, can be the Middle East, can be countries that really want to advance very fast. Maybe it's the US if they have administration, but with 10,000 of these machines being able to dig 1 mile a day, that's 10,000 miles a day.
Yeah, is boring company like a blind spot on our economy plan?
A little, because we barely touch the topic.
It's on the ground. It's like a mole.
It's like a mole.
Okay.
But we need to get into
into the boring.
Yeah.
The boring business.
Into the PRUF. What's the PRUF?
Okay. PRUFROCK is a poet. So we have J. Alfred Prufrock, and he wrote a poet about a very indecisive man. And it might be that Elon chose that name, but nothing is. I don't have a decisive answer, but it's a very dramatic monologue with anxiety for judgment and a certain feeling of decisiveness.
Why are you asking Google? You need to ask Grok.
Well, this is the AI of Google, and ChatGPT doesn't give me something. So I'll do Grok in the meantime.
Are you saying you don't have Grok?
Oh, I have Grok.
Yeah. What is this?
This is the revelation of...
He's been on holiday.
I have Super Grok, boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
You.
that's thinking harder now.
It's thinking so hard.
No, but yeah, it can be
Switching
a massive...
to a hard.
I'm hard.
Did you learn about macro hard? And
Microsoft and macro hard.
we talked about it.
Yeah, I laughed quite hard about it. Yeah.
But did you learn that he's actually going to put the letters macro hard on the ceiling of the XI Colossal factory, so people from space can actually see it?
That's awesome.
Because it's the biggest building on Earth.
Wow. Yeah, so now Boring Company is definitely set up to be a transformative company. I think it's going to be a $1 trillion company as well. Because
What's the valuation right now?
Not sure. Can you look that up, Kees, as well? But so it's massively transformative. But it's reliant on sort of red tape and there are many projects that you can do, right, that don't require a lot of red tape. So for example, Tesla is doing that in their Texas factory to be more efficient in the production and all that.
Would you like to become an investor of...
Yeah, sure. If it's under the SpaceX flag, or is it? No, it's standalone, right? Yeah.
I have no idea, but...
Yeah. Maybe
it's still amazing
when Tesla
that
goes 10x, we pour in all that money in Boring.
Exactly.
Valuation, like the Boring Company is estimated to be worth about 5.7 billion.
And can you ask it what the potential is of
What was the last time that we got some information about the Boring Company by Elon?
Yeah, sometimes not so much by Elon, but on their page, on their X account, they share some updates. But Las Vegas was a huge success there.
Yeah, well, it was great that Las Vegas was in Las Vegas, and there's definitely it showed that there is like a connection between all the different companies.
Yeah, no, that's clear. A lot of synergies because back in the days when Elon wanted to start the Boring Company, he just asked his top engineers of SpaceX, I have this idea for Boring, think it can be sufficient, and they had a discussion about it. Then he asked who think he's capable of building that, and then one of the engineers raised his hand, and Elon agreed that he was the right man for it. And then he said, "Oh, you go.
Let's go.
You're on Boring Company right now." So.
My Grok and ChatGPT, I'm both asking them questions, are still thinking.
We found something that we need to put some light on.
They're thinking macro hard right now. But in the meantime, what did you spot? Because you had quite some interesting topics. We touched, I think, on a couple of them. Did you have something of specific interest that you think is worthy of mentioning or discussing?
Well, I think if we go through the companies, the economy, I mean, we can talk a lot about Tesla and one of the milestones there. But one of the other ones is SpaceX, obviously. And there was a market report coming out that 98% or 85% at this moment, 85% of total rocket launches
is
SpaceX.
And payload is like 99%.
Yeah,
right?
payload is above 90, and within a year, 2 years, this will grow to 98%.
Yeah. And the same goes for the amount of satellites orbiting the Earth is like insane amount of SpaceX
But it shows how big they are on
dominant.
that, and how dominant they are in this also growing market. I mean,
when I was close to the Vandenberg Space Force base, I saw that like the day after there was a SpaceX rocket launch. So I stayed there to experience that one.
where's Vandenberg, in Florida? Or
Yeah, it's in Florida. It's if you do Highway 1 downwards, then you'll see Vandenberg, and then they'll pick up the rocket somewhere in LA. So it's not a lot of distance that those rockets cover. But there was this hotel in close to the area where I was staying, and this dude was like, "Yeah, I'm not even bothered by it anymore. Like, there's so many rocket launches happening." And I was like super excited, but he said like, "Don't get your hopes up, because those rocket launches get scrubbed, and scrubs like, we're aiming to launch, but due to adverse weather conditions, we cannot launch." It happened actually, so I needed to extend my stay for a day because I needed to see it. And still, he said like, "Don't get your hopes up, because probably you won't even be able to see it."
did you see it?
I heard it, but I didn't see it.
What do you mean? You were there, but you couldn't see it?
No, it was too cloudy. So you can hear it, you can feel it. It's a very cool experience, but I couldn't see anything.
I was there like 5 years ago on invite of Tesla.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of referrals for their Tesla sales. So we got some roadsters and we met a lot of Tesla influencers there, but we were able to see the boosters actually coming down again.
Yeah.
That was like magic happening.
It's awesome.
It's like looking at the sky and something coming down, and then suddenly you lose sight of them. They are like gone. And then like 100 meters above the ground, they suddenly put on the fire. And then they just very gently, they slow down and they just
that's crazy.
Sit down.
What do you guys expect from the shareholder meeting? Of course, we have the important vote of Elon.
Yeah, still need to do that.
But we also on the invitation for the shareholder meet, we see the Optimus, of course, being pictured. So the question is double. What do we expect from the shareholder meeting, and what do we expect in Q4? Because also the new Roadster is still on the table. We've seen that record of BYD breaking the fastest production car in the world. I don't know if you have seen that. So they almost hit 500 kilometers an hour with the car. But what are your expectations for the shareholder meeting and sort of the rest of Q4 when it comes to breakthroughs and announcements for Tesla?
I think Elon said it's going to be a very special shareholder meeting. The invites haven't been sent out, but there was like a picture
there it is.
With Optimus. So there will definitely be something announced around Optimus, I believe. But of course, the most important is actually the signing off of the
wasn't it that
package.
They're going to have like an Optimus dancing squad or so, something that was already pre-announced? Is that what they talked about, or
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure.
What's the date? Is it the 5th of November, no?
The vote should be in, I think, 5th of November, and the meeting itself is on the 6th.
But is it going to be like a shareholder meeting like we had in the past, where like when one of the previous master plans was rolled out, they had all the teams going through presentations for their sort of vertical. So we had supply chain, we had manufacturing, we had the AI team. That will be amazing to have some sort of big company update.
Well,
right?
explaining the new mission.
Yeah, new mission and how to get there.
How to get there, yeah. That will be awesome.
But can you remember that Tom Tzu was talking about manufacturing and sort of all those teams had their own, and that presentation is still relevant till today, because there are still things that are being rolled out that were announced in that sort of presentation back then.
I can remember very vividly that Elon came up with this Texas hat and the belt.
And the belt buckle,
for the first time. I think that was 2 years ago, no? Maybe 3 years ago. But
2023 is when
it would be awesome
when
if
they opened.
he kind of did the same with Optimus or with a Roadster kind of thing.
Yeah, about the dance, I see a post from 4 days ago from Tesla Economics, where he says Elon's dance moves at the opening of Giga Shanghai, like when he got up stage dancing weirdly like a robot. But I bet he'll top that performance at the next Tesla shareholder meeting with Optimus on November 6, 2025. So you might be right.
Yeah, but if you listen to previous quarterly updates, Q4 is also the moment that Tesla comes in. Oh, the Optimus is going into production.
Yeah.
So in the next coming weeks or months, we can expect sort of the first production version of Optimus.
We're getting close because we're now at version 2.5, where like they have new hands again, and they're getting more aesthetically sleek,
human-like. Human-like.
Very much human-like. Yes, definitely, and also a little bit scary with the eyes. It looked a little bit daunting, to be honest. But yeah, we're getting close to that. So very, very curious to see like what they're going to announce and if they're indeed going to hit that production deadline, which they stated. But something that goes unnoticed a little bit is the cheaper version of that Model Y.
Okay.
And I think they're going through with that because it's being spotted testing more and more. So without the front light bar, for instance, and with the
no glass roof.
Exactly. So very curious which factories will get that first or are going to produce that first. Perhaps even a Model Y 6-seater to different countries as well, instead of only China. And that Roadster, like Elon promised that something very cool is going to be announced. And everybody like thought that it should be, like it cannot be something else than the Roadster.
They're not even sure if they want to call it a car because apparently it's such a crazy thing.
It can teleport.
That would also be amazing to just for Tesla to have that sort of halo effect again of like the most spectacular innovators in that space. And sometimes you just need something like crazy stupid, but very
something
compelling.
really bold, yeah.
Very bold and compelling. So
and they need that like especially in like the eye of the public right now. Like Tesla's there. Like so many people don't really appreciate still what Tesla can do.
Yeah, even the Model Y is like a spectacular car, right? It's the best-selling car in the world, but therefore it also becomes more normal to people, unfortunately. But that hardcore smackdown to gasoline cars that we know from the Roadster is of course already happened with also the Model S Plaid.
Yep.
But it can be like a hardcore smackdown if they present that Roadster like being so superior to anything we have ever seen.
Yeah, by Ferrari, by Lamborghini.
Yeah, so the petrol heads that are like very much into muscle cars.
Yep.
They all need to aim them for that Roadster with SpaceX.
The SpaceX rocket in the back.
Yeah.
What you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just recapitulating what happened last year. I mean, on 10/10 last year, we had this amazing Robotaxi event.
Yeah.
With RoboVan being announced.
And Mr. Green at the middle of the night.
We had this watch party organized by UK. You're still recovering.
Wow, yeah.
And of course, also Elon being associated with Doge and with Trump. And there was an enormous rally. And then in the second quarter of this year, he was completely burned down by this left propaganda.
Yep.
Almost killing him.
And the diminishing car sales. And
yeah. Did you see how determined Elon was at that Charlie Kirk memorial? The small clip of him.
Where he was telling about like the light and the darkness?
Yeah. So there was an amazing clip of Elon where he got that sort of mic drop moment. But you saw it in his eyes that he was so moved by it. And what is going to be what was so interesting because the speaker lineup on that whole Charlie Kirk memorial was all sort of MAGA people like Tulsi Gabbard, Bobby Kennedy, so everybody in the Trump administration.
Yeah, fans,
and
of course.
Elon had not been in contact with that administration for a long time. But apparently Elon was also funding and being involved in the Turning Point USA organization already from the very beginning. So he knew Charlie quite well as well. So he had some personal interactions with him and his wife in the past. But Elon just came there by himself, like a very humble man, just arriving there, of course.
Early, sitting by himself.
Yeah, very early. And then like, holy shit, everybody, Elon is there again. And then obviously they just called him and say, okay, Charlie really wanted you to be friends with Donald again. Donald, are you open for that? And then they had that handshake moment. Yeah. And that whole Turning Point USA also shared that picture. So then it become maybe again sort of like monumental moment, like really a turning point, like literal turning point, if those men are going to join force again.
If they're going to reconcile again.
I think this is like a moment where many people unite around. Also, they see the role, for example, of a religion, Christianity in a society.
A revival of Christian values,
Yeah, so many young people joined the Christian religion because of Charlie. But now you see many people like saying like, if we don't have some sort of overarching...
it's the glue of a society.
Yeah, sort of glue, then it's very difficult.
Yeah. Not to say that it's the best glue for society, but it is a kind of a glue and to keep people with the same goals and visions, at least part of it.
And so that, and I think also deep down now also Trump realized like the things that Elon warned about. So Elon said in his podcast with Joe Rogan, if I go to explain all the corruption, I will get killed. So there was something very clear that Elon said in his podcast.
The latest. Yeah.
So, but I also now see that Trump made that realization like, okay, I already got shot and there's still nothing, published about that whole assassination attempt. And it was just centimeters and we tend to forget that very fast, right? Now Charlie got shot.
And the same goes for the Charlie Kirk assassination. Like there's so many theories going out right now, like that perhaps even the guy who did it is not the guy who did it. Because like taking the length and the size of the bullet, the entry and exit wound would be way different and people around it. Like there's so many Navy veterans with a lot of experience of shooting and killing people that are calling bullshit, and there's a lot like we're not being told. So the same is happening here.
And so we don't know are these radicalized people, but let's stick to people are getting radicalized. Who is causing this radicalization? Those are also like organized group, can be foreign entities, can also be internal entities. So this is apparently a very eye-opening moment of the threat of these kind of situations. Like Kash Patel said, like the big problem is nowadays, like there are so many people getting radicalized that those are sort of all sleeper cells that are almost impossible to identify on a sort of scale. Right, so on the one hand, that sounds like very totalitarian with surveillance programs that they want to roll out. So this is a big threat
and highly flammable. Like only
something can happen. But I think Elon also knows the threat, of course, because he experienced it firsthand with suddenly people lighting up their cars, and there was a very organized thing. Everybody's clear about that.
The same goes for Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, who were gaslighted by their own Democratic Party, and which led them to go to the Republican
with Elon,
Party.
It was literally like people bombing, or everybody forget that Cybertruck that was being exploded
in front of Trump Tower. Yeah.
So people start to see like, okay, we really need to stop the funding of this programs that are leading to radicalization. And those are all programs that, very much lead to the government spending way too much into sort of black boxes where people don't have a sight on anymore. So not sure what is going to roll out of that. And I'm not sure if they will work on that, but I saw like a sort of whole different level of determination in Elon's eye again. When he was at that memorial.
Yeah, you can call it that Charlie Kirk was demonized. How do you say it in English?
Demonized.
Yeah.
So we also heard that a lot of people said, well, finally he got killed, and it's good.
Which is crazy.
Well, but it's the same as having something who is criminal and being killed. You're actually going to say, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So I think
and
that's
they're comparing this as well with like if the Germans would have known what Hitler would have been doing, please do it, like please kill the guy, and they're treating it like as if like it's. I think it's a very
that's because of the labeling, because
it's insane because I've watched,
that's a word that
I've watched so many clips of Charlie Kirk in the past year, I think. So first of all, like I think my algorithm is targeting me quite heavily since the elections. So I've been getting that in my feed quite a lot. And at first I was quite irritated by the guy because like his debating style can be, and his tone of voice can be a little bit like like arrogant and like I know it and I'll get you on certain things. But after a while, like if you closely listen actually to what he's saying and people, black people or some LGBT people or people who transitioned and are retransitioning back because they regret from the choices that were made by transitioning as a teenager and how detrimental it actually has been. You start understanding it way more. And if you again listen to and watch the long form content, which is super important, and not those clips, because if you listen to clips without added context, then it's very easy to dehumanize him and demonize him as racist, bigot, right-wing extremist, fascist, like all the labels, they come again. Whilst there are a lot of like black people and gay people who agree with him, and he's not divisive. He's not,
not at all,
and he's not condoning violence. Nothing at all. Like I think deep down he's a very kind person. I had in my close family at the time of his death. Like of course on X, I'm in this bubble insanely. So I've been watching it. Family members actually told me, Charlie Kirk just died. Let's party.
Really?
That's what?
Yeah, let's have a party. And I got fucking on fire. So I started like, you can't say this shit, blah, blah, blah. And that's on a micro level, the discussion, which is on a macro scale happening right now for more than a week.
Wow.
It's exactly this. And very weird.
It's quite chilling if you think about that.
Yeah, it's giving me goosebumps again. And it's a very flammable situation.
Yeah.
And I truly believe like if we're not if this situation is not getting handled correctly, it might turn into something very bad.
Yeah, but let's see how that develops. But for now, it's very positive that Elon stays on the realm of Tesla with renewed energy, with renewed passion there.
100%.
Like on the realm of the technologies that Florian mentioned, from AI to boring.
Yeah.
But the next coming month, probably with the shareholder meeting. No, that's 2 months now from now.
Maybe roughly,
5 November.
Maybe the next 3 months will be the most telling for Tesla's future, apparently, with the rollout of everything. So in the next 3 months, I expect a lot of sort of stuff being presented that has been presented.
I think within 30 days, we will learn about FSD version 14. And
30 days?
Yeah, within a month we will learn more about it. I think version 14 is already rolled out to
internal testing employees.
Yeah. I've also learned that Chuck Cook thought that there were people testing his famous corner. His
unprotected left turn.
Yeah, with the FSD for v14. So hopefully we will learn more about that and I think that's going to be like the game changer. And then everybody will see, okay, this product is so good.
And if they can make it happen
because
on
if that product is so good, that's the next step. The security driver will get out.
Yeah.
Then Robotaxi can be rolled out.
A fourth state got added as well with
Arizona.
Yep. So that's also very positive. So 4 states in the US where they can actually roll out a commercial version of Robotaxi.
Yep.
Also very good.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up with that. And then it's a wrap for this week.
And I think I have some reading to do.
Yeah,
which is nice because whilst wearing the shirt, because at the beginning of the podcast you said like you get wrapped up by social media and like you can't keep your focus anymore. I have exactly the same. It's
everybody.
It's a societal problem.
It's freaking insane, and like I'm getting so frustrated by it. Like you put it away, boom, you take it again. So
it's dopamine.
Let's start reading.
Yep,
and
start
getting
reading.
back to basics.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to have you back, Kees.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the next one. Bye-bye.